Hello, how are we doing? How are we doing? Make sure everything is good here. Yeah, we're good. All right. How we doing, guys? How we doing? Need to discuss a couple things. Week 14, guys. Big week. A lot of team seasons are on the line today. A lot of team seasons are on the line. So we're going to discuss everything here. We're going to discuss everything. And I want to go ahead and pin this here. Go ahead and pin that baby. Pin the Dak Prescott half a yard entry. Here we go. A live video. Sweet Skull first. Andrew, unfortunately, it says you were second. It's a Vikings fan 123 who said Skull. Howdy, Tom. What's up? Cortrix, my guy. How we doing? Guys, we're just having a little pregame show. There's a lot to discuss today. Obviously, a lot of team seasons are on the line, and of course, we are going to. There's a couple things that I would like to discuss with the Dak Prescott thing down in the lower corner here. But you guys can see my score predictions and everything here. Thanks for all your hard work, bro. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's Sunday nights are a grind, especially getting those weekly recaps out. When the weekly recaps out, it's just a big sigh of relief. But guys, I want to know any of your guys' predictions today. We have the the fantasy rankings down at the bottom of the screen. I'm actually going to go ahead and tweet that we are live. I've not tweeted that. Should I start Aaron Jones or Kenneth Walker? I got to actually look at I want to look at the health status of each. I would say Aaron Jones regardless. I don't like Kenneth Walker against I don't like Kenneth Walker against the 49ers defense, so I would say Aaron Jones regardless. That's just me. Morning, y'all. Salty Wings and Az fan, I've seen him in here before. What's up, man? How we doing? Hopefully, like I said, guys, hopefully you guys enjoy. Hold on here. I want to change the thumbnail, and I'm not exactly sure how to change the thumbnail, so I'm gonna see if I can figure that part out. I gotta be honest, guys. I'm a bit of a dummy when it comes. Oh, here we go. I'm changing it now. Here we go. Because I made a specific thumbnail for this and everything. So there we go. Week 14. It has Patrick, Josh, Dak, and Jalen on it. So definitely wanted to get that in here. Here we go. All right, Cincy beating Indy, that's what I like to see. Who day? Yeah, I think Cincy will come out on top today. Jake Browning had a hell of a game against the Jags. I mean, that was really unexpected. I really thought the Jags were going to win. It was unfortunate to see Trevor Lawrence leave early. And inactives will come out in about anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm eager to see if Trevor's active today. I know there was a lot of discussion. Trevor, is he going to be active? And then there were a lot of people that were like, if Trevor plays, is he kind of like a man, or is he not like a man? Because people were like, how big of a deal he made when he got hurt, and then people were like, if he's making that big of a deal and he comes back Sunday, how big of an injury was it? I'm not saying that, but that was a lot of like what I saw this week. But no, the Jags game was definitely that one. I don't know who's gonna win that one. It's gonna be fun to see here. Let's see here. Broncos are hot. Chargers aren't. Exactly. I do like the Broncos today. My guy War Bronco. TJ Hawkinson versus the Raiders, or Sam Laporta versus the Bears. Honestly, I would go Sam Laporta versus the Bears. I simply trust Jared Goff more than I trust Josh Dobbs at this point. Guys, Josh Dobbs against the Bears was rough. That was about as rough as of a game as you're going to find there. Let's see here. Sean says, is Nico Collins a good start against the Jets? The weather is not the best today in the Northeast. If you guys don't know, I am from Maryland, and the weather today it's pretty shitty. It's like 42 and rain. That's not great weather conditions, and Baltimore's not too far from here. And then, of course, New York isn't far from here either in terms of, the weather. So I would not recommend starting. I don't think Nico Collins is the best start against the Jets. Let's see here. Why do you think the Vikings are done for the season? Yeah, Matt, so I didn't mean to make that the thumbnail. I changed that thumbnail. I'm pretty sure, at least did it save? I hope it saved. Let me confirm here, because that thumbnail was made several weeks ago. So I hope that thumbnail changed. Because I at least edited it to change it, but that was a little bit. Let me check here. It says that it changed on my end. I hope that it changed, but no, I think the Vikings are done just because I really don't think Josh Dobbs is going to go into San Francisco, Philly. We wouldn't go to Dallas, but San Francisco, Philly, even Detroit. I don't think Josh Dobbs would lead the Vikings to a win there. Kenny says Mahomes disaster class soon. No bias there from Kenny, of course. Dak big day against the Eagles. I do think Dak will have a big day against the Eagles. And guys, I do want to let you know, if you are interested, I am going to plug it a little bit, but down in the corner here, you can see the new customer special. It is as simple as it sounds, where if Dak Prescott throws for a yard tonight, it's also the pinned comment for the stream. You have a chance to make coin. You also get a free $100 deposit match on Underdog. So definitely go check that out. You can also pick other players like Justin Jefferson's yards, for example. So that's definitely one. If you're interested, if that's for you, definitely go check that out, where if Dak Prescott throws for a yard, like I said, cheddar will be made. All right, let's go here. I did not know you were from Maryland. I am from Maryland. I am, yes. Shout out 301, baby. Browns or Jags? Will Lawrence play good while hurt? I don't think Lawrence is going to play good today. The weather is awful in Cleveland. I can't imagine that that's going to translate to good fantasy performance unless Trevor, can get in the end zone, running the football, which I don't think the Jags are going to be, I don't think Doug Peterson's game plan entering the week was say, hey, Trevor, let's go ahead and get you out there. Let's run, 30, 40 yards today on that bum ankle. So I don't think Trevor is a good fantasy play today. Start Baker or Dobbs. I would personally prefer Baker. I know Justin Jefferson is back today, but guys, I'm pretty bummed out with Josh Dobbs, especially with how the Monday night game against the Bears went. All right, let's keep it going here, guys. 8:20 a.m. Los Angeles. That's what's up, dude. I do want to get out to the West Coast. Sunny here in SoCal. It's 70 and sunny. Dude, like I would kill right now for mid-December or December 10th, 70 degrees. But like I said, it's like 42 and rain, so not ideal. Does Jayden Daniels go high in the first round? Good question. Jayden Daniels is of course the Heisman winner from this year. Congratulations to him. Big accomplishment. And I wouldn't say high. High I would think would be like 5 or 6. The top 5 or 6 picks. And obviously we're going to dive into a lot of draft content coming up. I've been working on videos, whether it's Marvin Harrison Jr., whether it's, Caleb Williams or Drake May. But I don't think Jayden will go. I don't think he'll go in the top 5 or 6 picks. I think he'll go right around, 12 or 13. I don't think he's going to go in the top 6. There's 2 franchise tackles this year, in Olu Fashanu from Penn State and Joe Alt from Notre Dame. They're gonna go. I think they're gonna go each before Daniels. Brock Bowers will be a wild card. I don't know if he will go before Daniels. I would imagine he would. Maybe that positional value, kind of brings Bowers down the board. But I also like Jayden Daniels' college teammate Malik Neighbors. I think he will go before Jayden. So I don't think Jayden's going to go all that high personally. All right, George Kittle, Seattle, secondary finna get cooked today. I agree, Steven. I think George Kittle will have a good day. Somebody asked George Kittle or Noah Brown. I would personally go George Kittle. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? Who was my sincere Super Bowl winner in your eyes and why? Just a quick answer. Doesn't require a super long answer. Well, I'm not going to say like the 49ers and just leave it at that. But the 49ers would be my team right now. Guys, when the 49ers are on, and aside from that 3-game hiccup they had against the Browns, my Vikings, and the Bengals, guys, they look like one of the best teams. Not just this year, but like I'm talking in the past like 5 or 10 years. And like last week we saw in Philly, for example, like guys, 42 points in Philly. Yeah, I know Philly had the 3 games in 13 days. I know 49ers fans obviously don't give a shit about that, nor should they. But 3 games in 13 days. They had the Monday and then the back-to-back. Yeah, never mind. I'm just going to stop that tangent. But anyway, you get the point. Guys, the 49ers are just an unreal team when they're healthy and when they're playing well. Debo had 3 touchdowns last week. They also have one of the best running backs in the league, if not the best running back in the league in Christian McCaffrey. They have one of the best left tackles in the league in Trent Williams. Brock Purdy is playing very good football. Their defense is, of course, one of the best in the league. So, guys, like I said, right now, the 49ers would be my pick. Hot take, Panthers could upset the Saints. I don't disagree with that. I ultimately think that New Orleans will win. New Orleans, this is as much of a must-win game as they're ever going to have. They're 5-7. They've lost 3 in a row. And they're playing the 1-11 Panthers, who obviously already fired their head coach. So, I think the Saints win today, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Panthers win. All right, let's keep it going here. I would select Alt over Fashanu because Fashanu had issues versus the Bull Rush. So I got to be honest, I have not dove like fully into like Olu versus Joe Alt's tape yet. Obviously, I have watched both, but to sit there and actually watch like 5 or 6 games, break each guy down, break each tape down. I'm watching. I am a Penn State fan, so I watched. There were times specifically this year where I would watch Olu, and there were I went to a couple games this year where I was just watching Olu specifically. I really wasn't even paying attention to where the ball was. I was just watching him specifically. And there were times where guys would just run into Olu, and it would be like running into this wall behind me. Olu is, I didn't get to watch any Notre Dame games in person, but on my scouting trips watching Olu, it was unreal watching him play, and it was a real treat, to be honest with you. I do think Olu will be drafted a little higher, but we'll see how the draft process goes, and we'll definitely have breakdown videos on each player. Are the Bengals screwed for the future? That's a long question to answer. I wouldn't say they're screwed, especially when you have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, as a perennial quarterback and wide receiver cornerstone of the organization for probably the next 7, 8, 10 years. So I wouldn't say screwed, and they also have Hendrickson and Hubbard at least for another year or two, and of course they drafted Myles Murphy in the first round this year, so I don't think they're, screwed for the future, but their window to win the Super Bowl is in theory open every year, but I gotta be honest, the way they're going about this concerns me. I do have questions with Zach Taylor at times, and I question whether he will be a Super Bowl winning coach, so screwed for the future, absolutely not, but that's a very long question. Carolina has nothing left to lose. Indeed, you are right on that. Ravens will either smoke the Niners or Niners will smoke the Ravens. I don't think either team would smoke either team, but that would be my Super Bowl pick right now, Niners over Ravens. And I think it would be something along the lines of 23-20, 20-17. That would be a very fun game for everybody. What does Jefferson's production look like with Dobbs for the rest of the season? That's a tricky one to answer. I would say, let me see if this thumbnail updated, by the way, because I don't want the thumbnail to be a picture of Kirk with can anybody comment, by the way, if you can see the thumbnail? Okay, here we go. So it is okay, we're good. Never mind. No comments needed. I appreciate everybody that was going to check, but we're good. No, so Jefferson's production the rest of the season, guys. Obviously, it's not going to be what it is with Kirk, and there's a lot of Vikings fans that, that every year we go through it and, oh, it's time to replace Kirk, let's bring in somebody else. And then you bring in somebody else, like Josh Dobbs, or, we only saw like a quarter of Jaron Hall, so I don't really want to get in that discussion. But, guys, Kirk is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and Justin has been as productive as he has due in large part to Kirk. Obviously, JJ has to be, one of the best players, in the league to be as good as he is, but, it's going to dip. It will dip. JJ's production will dip. Selfishly speaking, obviously you guys know I am a Vikings fan, and somebody asked how I became a Vikings fan, and I'll get to that. But I selfishly want Justin just to get to 1,000 yards. If we can start his career off with 4 straight 1,000-yard years, that would bring me a lot of joy. He's hopefully going to get that extension this offseason. I thought he was going to get it last offseason, but I selfishly want JJ just to get to 1,000 yards. I hope Dobbs can get him the football that much. But his production definitely will dip. All right, let's see here. What made you a Vikings fan over the Commanders or Ravens? So to answer this question, by the way, wearing the shirt. Don't know if you guys, I actually, this is the only shirt that I have like this, by the way, but if you guys are interested in me ever like creating like a store, and if you would be interested in buying one of these shirts, let me know. That's something that can definitely happen. Again, I'm trying to like stand up a little bit there, but got the logo on the shirt. Anyway, why I'm a Vikings fan is my dad grew up during like the big era, the Purple People Eaters, the Fran Tarkington, during that whole era, and he just like stuck with them. And when I was like 6 years old, I saw my dad watching football all the time, and I was just like, oh, like let me get into football. And ironically, the first game that I ever watched, I was like 5, 6 years old, was the Randy Moss Moon game. Unfortunately, I don't remember the Randy Moss Moon itself. I also was 6 years old, so I wouldn't have exactly like known what that meant. But no, the first game I ever watched, I think that's actually pretty cool to say, that was the Randy Moss Moon game. But so that's how I became a Vikings fan. There's definitely times that I've told him over my 20 years as a fan, I'm like, I've said to him, I'm like, Dad, like you could have picked literally any other team but the Vikings. You pick any other team from that era. Like even if we were Dolphins fans, like they were good back in the 70s. Like, hey, you got a couple Super Bowls. Now you have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua, and Mike McDaniel. Literally any team but the Vikings, we'd probably have a Super Bowl. So, to answer that question, that is how I became a Vikings fan. And by the way, I am just tweeting Week 14 discussion, so that's all. Just taking a quick second to tweet that. Keep firing away with the questions, guys. Should I start Jerick McKinnon? I don't think that's a bad start. Especially with Isaiah Pacheco out, so I don't think it's a bad start. I don't know the other options you have, but I don't think that's a terrible start today. Week 14 discussion, and I'm going to go ahead and send this puppy out here. So appreciate everyone being in here, by the way, guys. I want to know what is your guys like upset of the day, because I have Buffalo over Kansas City. I do think Buffalo wins today. I also have Denver over the Chargers. Denver is underdogs. They were underdogs. They were. I took them in one of my picks today, so hopefully they win. Greetings from Germany. What's up, Matthias? That's pretty cool, man. That is actually that's really humbling to know that I have a stream right now, just from my room, and there's somebody watching from Germany. That is actually really humbling, man. So I really do appreciate the support. All right, let's go here. Let's see. I'm Vikings fan too because my dad, absolutely. That's how we do. Panthers over Nola. I hope not. I do have some coin on the Saints winning today. I think the Chiefs can win as long as they can catch the ball and as long as they can handle the weather. The Chiefs can definitely win. They can win the Super Bowl. Will they? Of course, is a different thing. And one of the things that I saw, or one of the things that I think is hilarious, is somebody tweeted this a month ago, and it was like the Chiefs are struggling right now, but in like the middle of January when they win 12 or 13 games, Patrick Mahomes is going to sit down with Aaron Andrews and he's going to be like, and Aaron's going to ask him, how'd you guys get through this? And Patrick's just going to say, we just had a lot of repetition and, they're going to be the same old Chiefs and they could very easily go to the Super Bowl. So I completely agree with that comment. Will Stephon Diggs be back with the Bills next season? I think so. I can't imagine he's not. Do I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is a top 5 pick? Yes, 100%. Guys, obviously you can see that I'm not the oldest draft analyst out there, but for as long as I've been doing this, which probably, seriously, seriously like 4 or 5 years, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best receiver I've evaluated. I've, of course, did like my mock drafts in like, middle school and high school and everything, but I wouldn't really include that as like a true evaluation. But in the 5 or 6 years where I've seriously done this, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best receiver I've evaluated. Let's see here. I have good faith in Dobbs. He's got a pretty accurate deep ball, so JJ opening up that secondary will help a lot. I hope you're right, Chase. Merch says Cortrix. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see if we can get the merch. We'll see if you guys are interested in that. I'd F with a hoodie version of that. I hope Santa brings me a hoodie for Christmas. I want a gray hoodie with the logo on it, so hopefully Santa brings me one. Let's see here. Green Bay there. Currently, I think they can keep it going. Green Bay is hot. I think they can keep it going as well, and I think they will beat the Giants tomorrow. Let's see here. Let's keep it going here. Straight cash, homie. Absolutely. Let's see. Don't start McKinnon. Reports say Clyde will start. Let's see here. I want to keep it going here. I've been a Lions fan since 2011, and the 2013 wild card game against the Cowboys still hurts. No, definitely losses stink, man. Playoff losses are... They're brutal. The one that still hurts me, by the way, is the 2009 NFC Championship game. That's the worst one by far. I was 11. That one stinks. New Era, appreciate the donation. Should I start DK or Swift in the flex? So, by the way, if you do, I'm just saying if you do, send a little. First off, I very much appreciate it, but I will go a little more in depth. To answer this question, I think I would start DK, and here's my reasoning. I'm hoping in, the game flow for this sake that the 49ers get up early, that, they're going to be up 21-3 and that, DK can get a lot of garbage time points. I know these are going to be like, playoff altering positions. The only thing with Swift that worries me is if they get down to the goal line, they get down to the 5-yard line, Swift could get a 5-yard touchdown. And if DK only has 3 catches for 19 yards and no touchdowns or something like that, for example, then Swift's touchdown alone would erase, I'm going to go the other way, would erase what DK has done for the day. So I would personally start DK, but if you want to start Swift, I get it. But like I said, I would personally start DK and hope that, the Seahawks offensive line can hold, Nick Bosa, Chase Young, hopefully can hold those guys a little bit, just enough time for DK to get those garbage time points. Let's see here. Let's see. Keaton Mitchell or Achan. I would personally go Achan. Let's see here. Been subscribed since 30K. Love your content, brother. I do appreciate that, my man. I do appreciate that. Do I think Rome Odunze will be a solid wide receiver? Yes. I love Rome, man. I love Rome. And speaking of, the Washington Huskies, Michael Penix, and by the way, this is key, guys. I know you guys will be able to decipher this, but I've gotten in trouble on this on Twitter because people like to try to flame me for saying this. But Michael Penix is my favorite, not best, favorite quarterback prospect in the draft. I like him. Speaking of strictly liking a player, I like him more than Caleb and Drake. Obviously, I think Caleb and Drake are up here, and I think Penix is down here. But I love Penix's game, man. Kincaid or McKinnon. I appreciate that you would purchase gear without a doubt, by the way, G-Mike. And I would personally go, I think I would go Kincaid, guys. Kincaid has been starting to, he's been starting to really get involved in the offense recently. And I think that was the Bills' plan all along. Start him out slow, and then, gradually bring him along because
Gabe Davis hasn't been the best receiver for the Bills, at least what they've hoped for. After that 2021 playoff game, a lot of people were expecting Gabe to, really come along and potentially be, a 1,000-yard receiver. But, guys, there will be games where Gabe goes for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then he'll have 145 yards and 2 touchdowns over the course of the next 5 games. So Gabe really never became the guy the Bills wanted him to be, and especially on an expiring contract for Gabe, I think that only benefits Dalton Kincaid even more. So I like Kincaid. Keaton or Lockett and flex, I would go Keaton. I like Keaton and Gus Edwards both today from a fantasy perspective. Just because we mentioned this earlier, I don't know how long you guys have been in the stream, but I'm from Maryland. The weather today, I'm not far from Baltimore. The weather today in Maryland is awful. It's gonna be a bad game for guys like Puka and Cooper Kupp and Odell. I don't think not a lot of people are probably starting Odell, but it's not gonna be a great game, guys. The weather is like 44 and rain. The rain's not gonna let up till after the game ends. So I like Keaton Mitchell today a lot. Is Sean McDermott out if the Bills miss the playoffs? I think so. I think we're at a point where, we saw what this team could do, over the past few years. And the losses, some of them that they have, like the one to the Patriots, the one to the Broncos. There was another bad loss. Where was it? I'm missing one off the top of my head. The one to the Broncos, though, specifically. Like, guys, that should not happen. And I want to confirm the loss that I'm missing here. The Eagles won last week. I wouldn't say the Bengals. That was, that kind of is what it is. The Jets. That's the one I'm thinking of. The Jets lost back in week 1. The Patriots lost, and then the Broncos lost. Like, guys, the Bills are probably the most talented 6-6 team I've ever seen, and a lot of that, will go on coaching. So that's that one. Yeah, I think McDermott will be out, and of course, recently there were some comments. I don't know if you guys saw those comments. If anybody wants to, comment that, you guys probably saw them, but it's not exactly a good look there for PR. I'll just kind of leave it at that. Let's see here. Stop coping about the Chiefs. The front office fumbled the season, thinking punt returners could win you in back-to-back Super Bowls. They're not doing a damn thing in the playoffs. I definitely understand what you're saying, but it's also at the end of the day, these guys are still NFL players, and if you told me that they have one of the best games of the season in the playoffs, it wouldn't surprise me. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Chiefs go back to the Super Bowl. Well, do I think they are personally? No, but it also wouldn't surprise me. Should I take the 49ers minus 13.5? I am not a gambling expert. I'm not advising anything. If I had to choose, I would personally choose 49ers minus 13.5, but I'm not a professional gambler. I'm not a gambling advisor. I just want to get that kind of preface out of the way there. Jalen Naylor or Daniel Bellinger at flex. Brother, what type of league are we in here? That's tough. I would go Bellinger, just because I hope that's not a serious question. I hope that's kind of a joke of a question. Hopefully your playoff spot does not rely on that. Let's see here. As a Chiefs fan, 3 Super Bowls in 4 years isn't a standard. While it's amazing in no way, so I expect the team to do this again. Okay. Should I start Brandon Cooks or Raheem Mostert? I would go Raheem Mostert. Personally, I think the game's going to be affected by weather. Indeed, they are. Did we talk tight ends yet? So many tight end ones down. Waivers are thin. Okonkwo or Brevin Jordan. I would personally go Chig. The weather in New York today is not going to be great. I know Tank Dell went down last week. You can easily convince yourself that with Tank Dell down, with CJ Stroud as the quarterback, that Brevin Jordan could get 4 or 5 catches today. Hopefully he can get a touchdown. That would be you convincing yourself of Brevin Jordan. I would personally prefer Chig Okonkwo, though. I'm kind of a big Chig guy, and I also like Will Levis. All right, let's see here. D-Hop or Williamson Reed. I would go D-Hop. Let's see here. Start fantasy. Josh Jacobs or Devon Achane. I think I would go Achane. The Vikings rushing defense is actually pretty good, and it's top, I'm going to say 8 in the league right now in terms of rushing yards allowed. And even within that, the Vikings rush defense allowed a 250-yard game against the Eagles back in week 2. So if you kind of take that one clear outlier game out, then the run defense is even better than kind of what that sounds. So I would probably play Achane over Josh Jacobs. All right, do you think there is a most crucial year? Okay, so I saw this AA_AA. I did see this question earlier, and I meant to answer this. Let's see here. What team do you think is in their most crucial year, and if they don't do anything, you would just blow it up? So I wouldn't blow up the Bills entirely. I wouldn't blow the everything up just because of, they have a lot of good players on the roster and everything. But I think they're in their most crucial year just because I don't know what other team wouldn't be. You could argue and say Baltimore is 2, but that would be kind of like if they really stink, and really shit the bed in a playoff game. But I really think Buffalo is, just because, the head coach and everything like that. There's a lot of questions this offseason. Poyer and Hyde are getting old. Von Miller, from a football standpoint, that contract situation. The Bills, if they don't at least win one playoff game this year, it's kind of scary me moving forward. Let's see here. Is it bad if I start Zay Flowers? I wouldn't recommend it. I think there's probably better options out there. I don't know what other options you have, but I would not recommend that in today's weather. Do I think Dallas is a legit contender? I do. Yes, I do. And I think you're going to see that tonight. I predicted, where is it here? Dallas. There we go. Dallas. I'm trying to do this here. Dallas 31, Philly 24. That is the prediction for tonight. Let's see here. If you aren't starting Sam Laporta with the rookie year he's having, you're kind of taking a huge L. I would agree, Steven. Let's see, what other questions do we have here, guys? What other questions do we have here? Are the Chiefs in panic mode? I would say no. I think they're going to lose today, but I don't think they're in panic mode. Roschon, McLaughlin, or Charbonnet need to non-PPR. I would probably choose McLaughlin and Roschon. Charbonnet kind of scares me against the 49ers. Let's see here. Okay, here's an easy one. Not a fantasy question, but who would I rather have? Tommy DeVito or Will Levis? I would go Will Levis. I'd go Will Levis there pretty comfortably. Do I think the Vikings are going to utilize Ty Chandler at all? I'm starting Judy at flex, but the homer in me wants to throw Chandler in. I would rather, fantasy-wise, I'd rather start Judy. So I'd rather start Judy over Chandler. Let's see. Whoever chose CJ Stroud for fantasy, how does it feel to be God's favorite? That's from Steven. I like Penix Jr., or I bet Penix Jr. surprises mightily in the NFL. My favorite also. He's got it. Yeah, I love Penix, man. Can't wait to see him ball out in the playoffs. Let's see here. Can the Niners win a Super Bowl this year? Absolutely they can. They 100% can. All right, let's see here. Somebody said good morning. They even added the good morning, and where was it here? Good morning. Here we go. 3 questions. 1, how should I feel about my Packers on Monday? First off, good. They're good. They're playing good, and I think they're going to be... Oh, wait, did he delete his message? Oh, I deleted it. Damn. Message retracted. I was getting ready to answer it, too. Anyway, you should feel good about your Packers. Penix Jr. better than Caleb Williams, says Sky. I personally disagree with that. I like Penix more than I like Caleb in terms of just, liking a player, but I don't think he's better than him. Eric asks Etienne or Jacobs. I would go Etienne, guys, even in the bad weather today. Etienne is a touchdown machine. I like Travis Etienne a lot. All right, let's see here. PPR, Joe Mixon, Achane, or Kyron. I would go Achane. I would go Achane out of those. Zay Flowers, Jacoby Myers. Probably go Jacoby. You're playing, the Raiders are playing in a nice warm dome in Vegas, and Zay Flowers is playing in 43 degrees and rain. I know Andrews is out, but I don't like the weather today in Baltimore. Let's see here. What are my thoughts on Troy Franklin? Could he go top 20? I certainly think he deserves to, and I'm very high on him, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And by the way, before I answer this question about Troy, I do want to say that in terms of draft discussion in kind of what we're doing now, where we're talking prospects here and there, and we're also talking fantasy and everything, we will discuss, we'll have Q&As like this during draft season and everything. But to answer your question, I do like Troy Franklin. Top 20 in this class is a little rich for me at the moment. I do like Troy Franklin though, and I think he's definitely going first round. I'm not as high on him as others. I like him, but I think some people are really the Troy Franklin, the big supporters. They will let you know that Troy Franklin is their guy. I'm probably here on him a lot. The Troy supporters like yourself, they're probably up here. But I like Troy. I think he will be a first round pick, and I think his game translates really well to the next level. CeeDee Lamb versus AJ Brown. I would really try and play both, but I would personally go CeeDee against a weaker Eagles secondary. Let's see here. What do you think the Jets will do with the top 10 pick? Hopefully they keep losing, and then hopefully they get either Olu or Joe Alt. That's my dream for the Jets at this point. Somebody said, where was this? 150 of us in here and 45 likes. We can do better. I appreciate that. But we're good, guys. I do appreciate everyone being in here. But if you are interested in helping the channel, and what I would say is, definitely check this out. DJ2K, you're good. What I will say is I'm not used to the hands. Check this out right here. The Dak Prescott new customer special. It is the pinned comment where if he throws for a yard tonight, cheddar will be made. You can check that out on Underdog Fantasy, and you also get a free $100 deposit match. So meaning you put $100 down, boom, they make it $200 automatically. That's what I would say. If you want to support the channel, that would be very much appreciated. And let's keep it going here. Why is my mic so big? I don't know. I actually have a backup mic, so I'll show you the backup mic. I kind of have a backup mic in case this one goes bad. So I have like I have the backup mic here. This is the backup, and then this is the normal one. So we got we got a little 2 mic in case one goes bad. So that's what we're working with. Let's see, Drake May, Penix, or Daniels. I mean, I would go May personally. Etienne or Gibbs, full PPR. I would go Etienne. I like both though. I think both are going to be good. Jaren Hall looks good in the Falcons game before he got a concussion. I would like to see Jaren Hall play as well. Let's keep it going here. What other questions do we have? Do I think the Bears are moving on from Fields? Yes, I do. And somebody else, this is a different question. Where do you think Caleb Williams will go? So those are 2 questions, and I'm going to answer them both at the same time. Guys, the Bears have the number 1 pick, and they were gifted the number 1 pick. You don't get gifted the number 1 pick and then not take Caleb Williams. So Caleb Williams, as far as I'm concerned, will be a Bear next year. Every mock I do this offseason, guys, I'm just telling you now, number 1, it'll be Caleb Williams. And I think Justin Fields, I'm hoping that he gets traded to the Falcons for like a 2nd-round pick. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. And then hopefully with the Bears' other 1st-round pick, for their sake, hopefully they can get Marvin Harrison Jr. But that's what I think would happen with the Bears offseason at this moment in time, or Malik Neighbors. So hopefully the Bears roll into 2024 with Caleb Williams and Malik Neighbors. That is, I think that's the best case scenario for them right now. All right, so the guy with the cow profile picture, and then with Japanese writing as his username, what do you think of Rome Odunze? I love Rome. So the thing is I think Rome Odunze is going to be like a top 16 or 17 pick, but Rome's draft process is not going to be like the most like highly sought after, just because Malik Neighbors and of course Marvin Harrison Jr. is in the same draft class as him. So I like Rome a lot, and Rome, kind of like Penix, where I'm really high on him. I really like Rome a lot as a player. I just don't think he's going to be, as sought after. People are going to be going as crazy over Rome as they are, of course, when there's 2 better players in the class. No way they trade again. I agree. I don't think they're going to trade. And I think that the thing that they should do is, like I said, draft Caleb, and then, like I said, hopefully get Malik Neighbors. All right, let's keep it going here. Quinn Ewers or Shedeur Sanders in the 2025 draft. Probably Shedeur. We'll see, though. I haven't watched, like, the true tape on them. I've only watched each from the TV angle, so that's just based off that. Let's see here. What do you think the Bills do in the draft? I've seen a lot of people mocking a corner to the Bills, but I honestly do not see the need there after trading for Rasul Douglas. So for the Bills specifically, it's going to, I hate to give this answer, but I'll give like a little more in depth. It's going to depend how the board plays out. If someone like, for example, that Rome Odunze would, fall to them, or that's just an example. Like, I think they would take a receiver. If there's a player that's at 15 overall and they're drafting at 20, we'll say, there's a player that's 15 on their big board, versus 25, but the position of need is more with the guy that's at 25. I think they would take the guy at 15, if that makes sense. So it's going to be BPA for the Bills, and I think it's going to be between wide receiver, corner. Safety is a sleeper, just because I think Hyde and Poyer are both gone, but I think it will be wide receiver or corner for the Bills. All right, let's see here. Watch your vids every day, bro. Keep up the great work. Appreciate that, Mitchell. Aaron Jones or Kenneth Walker? I would go Aaron Jones. I just don't like the Seahawks backs tonight against that 49ers defense. All right, let's see here. Let's keep it going here. Jamel Dean, Vita Vea, Devin White are all out. This is going to be a long game. Oh, tough one. Oh, yeah, the inactives are out. The inactives are definitely out here. I'm actually here. Let me look here. Trevor Lawrence is active. Taysom Hill is out today. Sorry, I forgot to even look at that. I'm too busy looking at the chat. Appreciate everyone being in here, guys. Hopefully everyone's morning's going good, and if it's not, then hopefully I'm here to take your mind off whatever was a shitty morning for you. But anyway, we'll keep going here. Do I think Seattle is done for the season? I do. Yes, I mean, even if they were to sneak into the playoffs, I don't think they're going to, quote-unquote, make noise. And that's a shame, because I was really high on Seattle entering the year. I thought they could go, 11-6 again, maybe not 12-5, but 10-7, 11-6, and I thought they could win a playoff game. Seattle kind of disappointed me this year. Moss or Achane full PPR? I would go Achane personally. Let's keep it going here. All right, I say Bears keep Justin, trade down 1 pick to either get Marvin or an offensive lineman with draft capital. I don't hate that idea. I don't think they're going to do that personally. But I think when Caleb is right there, you have to take Caleb. But again, I don't hate that. I just don't think I just simply don't think they're going to. Should I start Amari? Okay, no. Terrible weather. Rashee Rice, maybe. Or Noah Brown. I would go Rashee Rice out of those 3. I would go Rashee Rice personally. If Bill Belichick were to leave New England, what 3 teams would you want to see him coach? that would have the most chance of success. LA Chargers. Give him. Honestly, I don't think Josh McDaniels as the offensive coordinator would be bad with Justin Herbert, and Josh the offensive coordinator, not Josh the head coach. But Bill in LA would also be a fun sight. That would be the one. Justin on the Falcons would be sick. I agree. Let's see here. Do I think the Packers have a chance to make noise in the playoffs? Short answer, winning a playoff game is so tough. The only way I think they would win a playoff game is they'd have to be the 5 seed. They could beat Detroit if they were the 6 seed, but guys, anybody that's going to be the 5 seed, but it's probably going to be Dallas or Philly. So let's kind of take that out. So Green Bay can reasonably go to Detroit in the playoffs and win. They can. Now, will they is something else, but to answer that question, yes, they can make noise. Will they? I'm not going to lay my cards on the line with them not even in the playoffs and say that they are for sure going to the playoffs and winning a playoff game. Can they, to answer your question, though, I think they can win a playoff game, but I think that's going to be their ceiling for this year. All right, let's see here. Do I think Mostert is going to make the Pro Bowl? Yes. Do I ever plan on changing the name of my channel? No. Let's keep it going here. What should the Saints do? Blow it up. That is very simple, man. Blow it up. Let's see here. Keep up the great work this year. Appreciate it, Ben. Appreciate it. We need CJ and Houston healthy. We do. What do I think about Dylan Gabriel going to Oregon? Hopefully for his sake, he can have the type of year Bo Nix just had. Dylan had a good year this past year at Oklahoma, so I was kind of surprised he transferred, but no, hopefully Dylan can keep his career going here. Somebody asked there were a couple Texans questions. Do I think Bryce Young, this is not a Texans question, but do I think Bryce Young is capable of being a top 10 quarterback at any point in his career? Top 10 is, I don't know, man. I'm going to say, I think he can, but the thing is, you got to factor in Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Stroud, Lamar, Jalen. So there's 6 right there that are going to be around for a while. It's going to be a while for Bryce. It's at least 2 or 3 years away, just because of how much the Panthers have, kind of already just screwed him with how everything that went during his rookie year. So it's at least a couple years away. All right, if you pass on Marvin Harrison, you deserve to be fired even if you need a quarterback. He is just that guy. Yeah, Marvin is like I said this earlier, he is the best receiver prospect I've ever evaluated. I don't know if there's going to be a better prospect that I ever evaluate than Marvin. I'm sure there will be at some point, but guys, it's name a weakness to his game. That's a fun challenge there. Name a weakness to Marvin Harrison Jr.'s game. Let's see here. Looking forward to week 14. Appreciate it, Oliver. Yeah, it'll be out as soon as the Philly and Dallas game is over. So it'll be out right after that. Let's see here. Oh, there was somebody else. Puka or Ayuk? I would go Ayuk. I don't like Puka today. The weather in Baltimore stinks. I would not recommend starting any Rams receivers or Ravens receivers if you can avoid that. Should I start David Montgomery over Mostert? I think both get into the end zone today. Or I guess Mostert tomorrow because he plays tomorrow. But I think both are going to get into the end zone this week. I think I'd rather play Mostert, but that's just me. All right, let's see what other questions do we have here. What makes Malik Neighbors so good? He's explosive. He's good after the catch. There's no weakness. There's very little weaknesses to Malik Neighbors' game as well, but he's in a class with Marvin Harrison Jr. to the point where it's this guy is so great. Malik is great, but then Marvin Harrison is just on just another level. So Malik Neighbors in a normal class would be the first receiver off the board, and that would be fine. But Malik is, I think what makes him so good is just the fact that he's good at everything. You don't look at Malik Neighbors and think, he's 170 pounds, he's just not good, or he's not fast enough. He does everything good. Let's see here. Should I start Tua or Lamar? I would personally start Tua. Let's see here. Who should I start in the flex? Rashid, Devontae, so that's Devontae Smith or Keaton. I think I would personally go Devontae Smith. Mahomes or Purdy this week? Mahomes. It's not a bad question, though. What do I expect Minnesota to do at quarterback? I think they're going to keep Kirk. I really think they will keep Kirk this offseason. I also think there's a chance they draft a quarterback round 1. So I think it's going to be Kirk, and then hopefully, selfishly, I am hoping for Jaden Daniels in the draft. I don't know if Jaden's going to last that long, but selfishly, I am hoping for Kirk and Jaden Daniels next year. Do I think the Raiders' future is enticing for new coaches? This is a good question here. This is a really good question. I'm going to take a sip before I answer that. And to answer this question, I don't think it's the most enticing. I think you can convince yourself of a couple pieces, like Max Crosby, for example, even the upside of Tyree Wilson. I don't think it's the most enticing situation that we're going to have this offseason. But I also think that in order for the Raiders to, get back to, being a good team, it's going to have to be built through a good defense. You're going to have to figure out how to stop these guys in your division for, you're going to have to figure it out. This has been a question that we've, been asking for a couple years, and we really haven't had an answer for the Raiders. We have Max Crosby, but aside from that, that's kind of it. So I don't think the Raiders situation is the most enticing across the league. I want them to do well, but guys, it seems like every decision that they could have made over the past few years has kind of been the wrong decision. So I hope that the Raiders figure it out, but it's not the most enticing across the league. If there's 8 job openings this offseason, I think they would rank right around 5 or 6 in terms of like the most enticing. All right, let's see here. If Eagles win today, do you think they have the 1 seed wrapped up? Yes. The Eagles have an easy final 3 games, so yes. Should I start CD or Debo? I would personally go CD. What do I think the ceiling for the Lions is? I would say the ceiling for the Lions is a divisional round exit. I don't think, and that's assuming the Lions would go in the divisional round either San Francisco or Philly. And while I like the Lions' future, while I like what Dan Campbell has been doing, I don't think it's a hot take to say that they're not going to beat either one of those teams with the season on the line, at least not this year. That should not be a hot take. So I think the Lions ceiling divisional round exit, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, let's see here. Okay, here from Mr. Powers. Appreciate the donation. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate the support. PPR flex question: start Edwards-Helaire or Roschon Johnson? Thanks for the great content. Hope my Lions can avoid the Bears having a Fields day. Also like the reference. I try to do that sometimes. People comment whenever they pick up the reference, and I made one a couple weeks ago with Kyler Murray having a big personal day after COD was released. So people pick up whenever we make the references. To answer your question, though, I think I would go Edwards-Helaire. That's a tough situation that you're in with Clyde versus Roschon. The thing is I think in terms of the Bears leading rushers, I think Justin will lead the Bears in rushing yards today, and I actually don't doubt Justin having 85 or 90 yards on the ground today. And with Isaiah Pacheco being out, the reality is the Chiefs it's not like they're going to throw the ball 65 times today and run the ball 5. They're still going to have, probably like 45 and 25, hopefully, 40 and 25. They're still going to run the ball. Clyde is still going to get his touches, and if you're lucky, hopefully Clyde gets a touchdown down when they get inside the 2 or 3 yard line. Because what a lot of people, I don't want to say forget, but it's kind of sometimes just like not remembered with Mahomes and Kelsey. The Chiefs' offensive line is still very good. So I would go Clyde over Roschon today. Zach Moss, league winner. Yes, he's been pretty good. He's actually been really good. So he has been a league winner. Do I watch a lot of basketball? Also, keep up the good work. I've been watching it a lot this season. Alex, I do watch. I appreciate the comment, of course. But yes, I do watch basketball. I don't really have a team. There's a lot of players that I like, so I wouldn't really say I have a team. Some players that I do like, Tyrese Halliburton's been growing on me big time this year. I also like Joel Embiid. Joel is my guy. I have a Joel jersey. Joel has been my guy for a couple years, and I've also been trusting the process for a couple years with Joel, so hopefully they get to the conference finals this year. And I also like Giannis a lot too. Do I start Breece Hall over Zach Moss? I would start Zach Moss. Breece has been he's been bad a couple weeks. He's been bad. Let's see here. Unironically, claiming the Lions as your team is sad AF. Just claiming to be a Packers fan is what H. Brazil says. I'm not a Lions fan. I'm a Vikings fan. You can see the Vikings. Skull, baby. I don't know why I held up the logo. But anyway, Skull, Vikings. And I'm going to put the hat on here. We're going to change the wardrobe. Here we go. All right, anyway. Do I think the Broncos could win the AFC West? No. No, I don't think they're going to win. No, I don't think they're going to win personally. Let's see here. Oh, okay. No, okay, I got you, Brazil. I got you, brother. Let's see here. Is Parker Washington startable this week over a guy like Breece? I personally would not start Parker Washington over Breece simply because there's times where I definitely like second guess myself and I'm like, man, like should I start Pat Freiermuth over TJ Hawkinson or whatever the case may be, and that's not even that like good of an example, but like there's times where I'm definitely like, should I start this guy or should I start that guy? And then it's like, I shouldn't have did that, and then I'm an idiot and I second guess myself, and the guy that I should have started all along goes off or has 60 yards and a touchdown. So that's no, do not start. It was bad. Who was it? Do not start Parker Washington over Breece Hall. Long story short, I like the Sopranos background music too. Absolutely, we love the Sopranos. Love the Sopranos. Great series. That's actually like my favorite series ever. That or Breaking Bad. Or I would go like Breaking Bad, Sopranos, and then Better Call Saul slightly below them. So those are my top 3 series ever. Like them each. Let's see here. Keep it going here. All right, my guy with the Cal logo commenting again. Here we go. It was Jane Daniels, Penix, or May. I will have May the highest out of those three. I can tell you that now. But I like all three prospects a lot. So I would rank them right now. I would go May, Daniels, Penix. Vikings defense or Ravens defense this week. Sorry, Joe, I did see this commented earlier. I would go Ravens. It's hard to bet against the Ravens defense right now, especially with how they're playing. So I would go Ravens defense. It's hard to, like, you can't go against what they're doing right now. Steelers fan says, hey, football analysis. Should I start Jordan Love or Jared Goff? Because Goff had 3 turnovers against Chicago, and the Bears had extra time to prepare for this game. Definitely not bad logic there, but I would personally start Jordan Love against the Giants defense. The Giants are just, they're not a good team. I'm not a big fan of, like, division, starting in division games, unless it's like, Dak against the Giants, for example, just because of how bad the Giants have been this year. But Lions, Bears, these teams know each other well, and the Bears are not as bad as their record suggests. So I would start Jordan Love. Let's see here. Skull, Dylan, and then he says Jerome Ford or Clyde. I'd probably go Jerome Ford. No, actually, you know what? I'd go Clyde. That's a really tough one, but I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm not the biggest fan of either this week. Let's see here. Let's keep it going here. I want to go ahead and answer a couple more questions here. Is this actually the Cowboys' year? It seems like the best team in the Dak era. It's definitely the best team in the Dak era. And if there's ever going to be a year, I feel like it's going to be this year, because like the Cowboys team this year, it feels different. And I said after week 2 that, I thought they were a Super Bowl caliber team. And then of course people are like, after the 49ers, oh, you retracted. And it's like, yeah, they got beat by 32. But I think that's going to change tonight when they beat the Eagles. All right, let's see here. Let's see some other questions here. Mitchell or Singletary, I'd personally go Mitchell there. Let's see, what other questions do we have? What other questions, guys? By the way, I just want to say one thing real quick, guys. Dak Prescott, very simple. I'm just going to let you guys know now, it helps the channel, and it also can help your wallet too. But it's very simple. If Dak Prescott goes for a single yard tonight against the Eagles, which, come on, like we probably know he's going to do that, you get it's a free play on Underdog, and they also give you a free $100 deposit match, meaning you put $100 down, they will make it $200 automatically. So definitely go check that out. It is through the pinned comment. The link is, or the pinned comment of the chat. So definitely go check that out. And let's keep it going here. That's Underdog Fantasy. Definitely recommend go and check that out. It also, like I said, it also helps the channel and is very much appreciated. Vikings win out. That's probably not going to happen. Lions lose out. Packers, Bears lose out. Okay, that's wishful thinking. I just don't think that's going to happen. Jerome or Clyde. Oh, sorry. I thought I'd answer. I'd go Clyde. I'm not a big fan of either. Do I play Trevor or Jake Browning? I would go Jake Browning strictly due to the weather that's in Cleveland today, and with Trevor not being 100%, I would actually go Jake Browning over Trevor. I know that might be, that might sound like crazy, but I would still go Jake over Trevor today. My favorite Viking of all time. So my favorite Viking of all time is, believe it or not, it is actually Adam Thielen. It was, Adam, whenever he came up, it was just like, it was, when Adam was on the rise, from the Division II undrafted, it felt like Adam was like one of us getting to like a fan, like getting to live out his dream. And then in 2016, he had a breakout year. He had over 900 yards. And then 2017, he had over 1,200 yards. And then 2018 was the 8 straight 100-yard game. So it was just like the impact that Adam had like on the community and everything. And, especially with what he's done with the Thielen Foundation and everything. What that foundation has done is just, I want to say it's raised over like $1 million or $2 million for the state of Minnesota's like high school athletics. So everything that Adam has done has just been the right way the whole time. And it's unfortunate the business part got in the way of that this offseason, but I'm really happy to see Adam, ball out and, still, he can probably go for over 1,000 yards. So hopefully he goes for 1,000. It'll be the 3rd time in his career. But Adam, to answer the question. And number 2, my second favorite Viking player, it's this guy right here. All right, let's see. Liz, here we go. Liz, I found your channel a little while ago, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I appreciate that, man. Here's to seeing you continue to grow. I appreciate that, man. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of times, guys, where on the weekly recap, a lot of people always ask, like, oh, no Sunday night game. And it's like, guys, like, my eyes hurt in the absolute like worst, like my eyes just from staring at the screen, like the laptop screen, like they hurt so bad like on Sunday nights after like the video's out. So it's just like when the video is finally out, it's just relieving just to close the laptop and go to bed and then just wake up, read the comments. But no, it's the weekly recaps they're stressful. But we'll have Week 14 out tonight. You guys know how that is. We're less than an hour until Week 14 is underway. All right. Do I think Justin Fields would perform better on a team like the Falcons over his current Bears? I do, and I actually hope that Arthur would utilize him in the best way. But what's frustrating is seeing players like Justin Fields, or not Justin Fields, sorry, but like Drake London and Kyle Pitts, and just players that just don't get utilized and used to their maximum ability, knowing they only have one NFL career and knowing that like their potential just not being used. So I hope that Justin can go to the Falcons and be a better quarterback. But yeah, to answer that question, I think he can be better on the Falcons. Let's see here. Hey, who should I start? Joe Flacco or Trevor Lawrence? That is hilarious. Like, just to answer the question, I would go Flacco just because Trevor is not 100%. I would prefer Flacco, but that question just like in 2023, like Week 14 with the playoffs on the line, hey, who should I start, Joe Flacco or Trevor? I would personally go Flacco, though. All right, let's see here. Who to start a quarterback, Russ or Lamar? I'd probably go I think I'd go Russ because the weather stinks today in Baltimore. Like, yeah, Lamar can get the rushing numbers, but like it's not as that's a tough one. I'd probably go Russ to answer the question. But if you want to go Lamar because he's Lamar, he's a former MVP winner, and he is Lamar Jackson, a true one-on-one player, I completely understand. But I think I'd go Russ, man. If Eagles win today, yes, they will have the number 1 seed wrapped up. Pretty much, yes. Let's see. Can you make an individual video about my Steelers and how they're screwed? Only way how they can potentially succeed in 2024 is to lose out and get a higher draft pick, then hire an outsider as offensive coordinator. So to answer your question about the video, we will definitely go over a lot of teams like once the season recaps. For the Steelers' sake, I kind of hope they don't make the playoffs. Like, guys, I really feel like if the Steelers make the playoffs, they're going to get embarrassed. Like, they can really only win games in one way, and that's kind of like hope the turnovers happen and basically not turn the ball over offensively, and then hopefully pull out a win like 17-13. Like, if they run into Baltimore, or if they run into Jacksonville, on the road, they're done. And I know they beat the Ravens earlier, but like the Ravens had like 8 drops that game. They had a couple turnovers. That's not going to happen in the postseason. So I kind of hope for the Steelers' sake they miss the playoffs. But to answer your question, yes. And how can they potentially succeed in 2024? I hate to give you this answer, but I don't think they're going to have like a great year next year. Like, the quarterback situation scares the hell out of me for the Steelers. Let's see here. Do I think if the Bears win, Justin Fields will stay at quarterback? No, I think Justin's kind of gone regardless, just because Caleb Williams will quite literally fall into their laps. How likely do I think the Eagles win today? I'd put it at 35%. I think the Cowboys are going to win. Somebody asked earlier about how far can the Dolphins go? I really want the Dolphins to win a playoff game. Do I think they can get the number 1 seed? I don't think so. And to answer the question about how far the Dolphins can go, I think they can be a divisional round exit. And it's like, I know some people are probably like, oh, like, why do you say division round exit for everybody? But like, the reality is not everybody can be a Super Bowl exit or a Super Bowl winner or an AFC championship or NFC championship exit. So I think divisional round for the Dolphins and the first playoff win in the Tua era would go a long way. Hi from Italy. That's what's up, man. That's really humbling to know that I'm doing a stream and people from, quite literally across the globe are watching. And first off, or second off, I do want to get to Italy. I do want to, do the whole, I want to, international travel. So hopefully, I visit the country one day. That's hopefully coming up in the next few years, but I really do want to get to Italy at some point. Possibly dumb question. I'm going to say chances are that it's not a dumb question. There's not a lot of dumb questions. There's a question for everything here. But what's to stop an owner from giving a highly touted coordinator a hefty salary to keep them in-house as opposed to them getting poached for a head coaching job? So first off, that's not a dumb question at all. And to answer this question, literally nothing. Literally, I don't have I wish I had a dollar bill right here to hold up. So picture this being a dollar bill. But if this was a dollar bill, that would be the only thing that's stopping them. If the owner was basically hey, I don't want to. By the way, do I have a code for Underdog Fantasy? Yes, it should be the pinned comment. Use that link or code Garrett, Garret. Either way, the link or the code will work. The link is pinned comment. But anyway, no, that's the only thing that would actually stop an owner from giving a coordinator a salary. That's the only thing. That is the only thing that's stopping it is money. And what's kind of crazy, or not crazy, but just nobody knows what head coaches are making across the NFL. The only one that really anybody knows was the John Gruden like 10-year, $100 million deal, just because that was like publicly reported. But like right now, like I cannot tell you. Let me think of somebody here. Let me think of an analyst here. I mean, Schefter probably could, but like Scott Van Pelt, who works ESPN, like unless he has like inside information, like there's nobody knows what like Mike Tomlin's making, or John Harbaugh's making, or Kevin O'Connell's making, or Sean McVay. Nobody knows what they're making. So to answer that question, which was not a dumb question at all, it was a very good question. There's nothing stopping him other than money. Let's see. Do I think Mike Tomlin's seat is warm? Yes, 100%. Let's see here. How does Purdy rank among quarterbacks? Honestly, I think he's top 10 after this year. I was very adamant that he was not top 10 at earlier in the year, but I think he is top 10 at this point. He's like right around 10. To answer that, who are my top 3 candidates to win the Super Bowl? San Francisco, of course. Baltimore. Oh, I want to say it, man. You know what? I'm going to say it right here. I'm going to point to it right. Oh, wait. I got to get my finger going the other way. Hold on. I'm not used to like doing this. Anyway, Dallas, to answer your question. Dallas, Baltimore, San Francisco, they're my top 3 teams to win the Super Bowl right now. Let's see. Appreciate the answer and the reassurance. Hope the grind doesn't. No, the grind will be fine. It's a Sunday. Sundays are just like they're long days, but they're worth it. I mean, like the comments from you guys are just like they're always appreciated, man. It really is. Let's see. Spencer Rattler should go in the first round. I kind of hope that's just like a comment bait and that you don't think that. I don't think Spencer will go in the first round. What about the Eagles? I'd put them at like 4 or 5. I would put them at 4 or 5. And the thing is like Philly can still win the Super Bowl. Will they is of course a different question, but they're right there too. Should I start Rashee Rice, Amari, or I would start Rashee Rice, Jack. I would start Rashee Rice. Do you think I should start Nico or Devontae? I would start Devontae personally. Vikings predictions to finish the year. Let's go here. Let's take a look at I want to pull up the rest of the Vikings schedules. I'll go right here. I'll go right in front of you here. I'll do it. Vikings are 6-6. Let's go ahead and go through it. Vikings today at Raiders win 7-6. At Bengals next week loss 7-7. Versus Detroit at home, they'll win at home 8-7. Versus Green Bay at home 9-7. And then week 18 at Detroit lose 9-8. So Vikings 9-8. So hopefully that answers your question there. Let's see here. Tush push ban opinions. Let me think how to word this. From a safety standpoint, just with like the guys at some point there's going to be, I hate to say this, and I don't like, I'm not going to take like a victory lap when it happens, but there's going to be at some point, there's going to be like an injury where somebody's like foot gets stepped on underneath the pile, where like when you have all those like thousands of pounds, like, of force, like being pushed in one way, like somebody's foot is just going to get like rolled up on, or like it's like their body's going to keep going and their foot's going to, it's just going to be a real gruesome injury. So I think the tush push, like, I mean, you can't really like modify it, so I guess it should be banned, but like I don't think it should be like banned because the Eagles have like rigged it or they have a competitive advantage. Like there's people that like legitimately cry about the Eagles having the tush push simply because they're good at it, but like if you were to say that I'm crying about it, it would be because of a safety standpoint. Like, what if, like the Eagles play the Cowboys tonight, what if Mozzie Smith, who weighs 330 pounds, accidentally, because you know how fast things happen down there, what if he accidentally steps on Jason Kelsey's like foot as the tush push is happening, and like Jason's body keeps going or something? You see what I'm saying? So in that sense, yes, I think the tush push should be banned in that sense. All right, let's see here. If the Bills miss the playoffs, should McDermott go? Yes, 100%. And by the way, guys, like I said, I just wanted to say, we discussed it earlier, but if Dak Prescott throws for a single yard tonight, I'm still not used to doing this. Okay, so if Dak Prescott throws for a single yard tonight, cheddar will be made. It's live in Underdog Fantasy. Appreciate the answer. No problem, Ghost. But like I said, go check out the pinned comment. It also helps the channel. It's very much appreciated. And on top of it, like I said, Dak throws for 1 yard. You get that, and you also get a free $100 deposit match, meaning you put $100 down, boom, they make it $200 automatically. But, guys, I got to be honest, I have been talking for an hour, voice, little hoarse, and of course we got to save the voice for the weekly recap later. So we got to save the voice, we got to have the voice for the weekly recap later. I'm going to, you guys know the weekly recap will be over as soon as that Eagles-Cowboys game is over. But that will wrap up right now stream. I sincerely hope you guys enjoyed, and you guys obviously know that we will be live later today, or not live, but we'll have a video out later, later tonight as soon as that game is over. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Enjoy a nice Sunday of football. Thanks for the stream. Have a good one, man. All of you guys, like I said, appreciate it, and I think you guys know how we're gonna end this. So as always, until next time, please be safe. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the Sunday, and love you guys.